years. And of course, it's perfect that we don't know whether they were sergeant majors or second lieutenants. We have no idea of what their rank would be equivalent today. But we know they were in charge of 100 people. Well, one of the strangest things that I found in the Gospels was that Jesus never had anything negative to say about the Roman army. And if you know the history of that period, he certainly could have. But what he did was chose to admire the tenacity of the Roman soldier. He chose to remind his disciples and the multitudes of their faithfulness to their commands and their mission. And we know there's a story in the Gospels that a Roman centurion came to Jesus and said, not his child was sick, not his wife was sick, but that his servant was sick. And this Roman centurion said to Jesus, I know that you can heal my servant if you want to. And Jesus, of course, we know healed the servant, but he said, I've never seen this kind of great faith. And I think that sums up those of our military who are willing to serve their nation for as many years as Mr. Jones did. There's something in the complexity of their lives to be able to say, I'm going to serve my nation, whether it's through different time frames, whether it's through different branches of the military, whatever it might be, to serve our nation to completion, to show their desire to be servants of our nation. And after all, we all believe in the Constitution, but our military, in a practical way, show what the Constitution is really about. They show what it means in practicality to serve our nation at a time that they're needed and they're called upon. And I don't know all the places that Mr. Jones has served. I heard about World War II. I know he served in many different Air Force bases. But wherever he was ready for that call to go into harm's way, to be there where the action was if needed, all the way up through his time in 1968. I mentioned to some of the nursing home, the CLC3 staff, that I would be here at this graveside, and they all said in their own different way, Mr. Jones was such a nice man. That's what came out of their mouth. They remember how pleasant Mr. Jones was. And I think that's certainly a telling statement that he was able to be pleasant to the staff, and they were to pick up on the fact that he was genuinely a nice man. And so that was there. Also, two of our chaplains. Chaplain Hemingway, some of you might remember, was at the hospice. He just retired and moved to South Carolina. I had reason to talk to him, and he said, please tell the Jones family it was an honor to know Mr. Jones. And also Chaplain Robinson, who newly took his place on the hospice, said that as well. And so know that the staff were very pleased and honored to have Mr. Jones there in the hospital, and know that it was an honor to take care of a veteran of his stature. I read the beginning scripture from Job, I know that my Redeemer liveth. Now, if you just take that verse by itself, it might not mean as much, but if you know the kind of chronic illness and suffering that Job had, you identify with what someone like Mr. Jones and other veterans have. Because Job does not say, I know my Redeemer liveth, until the 19th chapter. This is after many verses